What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Long Dark. My name is Splattercat. I'm happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little while. And actually, we're just sort of... I slept through the night, so it's the next day right now. We've actually survived for 11 days, 17 hours, and 37 minutes. We're doing pretty well right now. And in fact, I boiled off a little bit of water last night. I ate some food, so we should be in decent shape for the remainder of the day. I mean, we're still a little bit low on some of the stuff that we need, but I think we'll be alright to make it out the back end of the ravine. Over here, we've maxed out our calories, I think. So, yeah, our calories should be fine. It's minus 20 degrees right now. That's brutal. Okay, well, since it's going to be minus 20 degrees right now, let's go ahead and forage some hardwood real fast and see if that'll help out. But honestly, I don't think that it will. We got 30 minutes to take care of this, and I don't know what's up with the heat or what's up with the weather or what's going on. I think we're not actually being protected from the wind, though, which is troublesome. So I'll throw some more on there. Hopefully it'll work out for us. It looks like the air temperature is actually having trouble compensating for the fact that we're inside of a tunnel. We may be creating a wind tunnel right here, which might be the other issue. So, still, I think we probably want to hang out for a little while until the storm clears. I'm going to grab a little bit more hardwood over here. I know. Insert the giggity wherever you want. Splattercat's out grabbing hardwood. I know. It's how I spend a lot of time in these sort of crafting games. I'm used to the joke at this point. Feel free to sling it at me any way that you please. However, let's throw that in right there. I want to keep this area nice and warm. Okay, and so I think it also has something to do with the fact of how much fuel you have inside the fire. If the fire has had time to die down, even if it still has like 2 hours left, I think it starts putting off less heat eventually. So what we want to do right now is I'm actually just going to rest for an hour. We'll wait and see what happens to our condition when we do this right here, but we are in a little bit of a desperate situation right now. We're treading against, I guess we're not treading against, I was going to say we're treading against the wind, but I suppose you could do that in a literal sense. You could tread against the wind. We got to wait for the wind chill to go away though. Let's go have a look over here and we'll see what the difference is in terms of temperature. It's minus 25. Oh, shit. Okay, so that's all kinds of bad. Oh, my God. We're lucky our ankles don't snap off from freezing instantaneously. That's pretty cold. Minus 25 is down there. That's really, really bad. That's cold enough to where I'm like, damn, that's pretty cold. Like where you spit out of your front door and it freezes before it hits the ground. Well, we do have things to do, so there's stuff to pass the time. I boiled off some water, so we can hang out here for a little bit and use some of these purification tablets to get this done. We could also conceivably use our time just sort of like boiling off. I guess I don't even need to use the pills, but that'll clear out our inventory a little bit. We can boil some water. We do have time left. I tend to use this as a barometer for when the temperature is going to get better. So usually around when you have 7 or 8 hours of daylight left is when the temperature gets better, so just keep an eye on it, I guess. For now, we just need to hunker down and make sure that we don't spend too much time. Ooh, we need a little bit more wood, too. Give me 2 more hardwoods. That'll take an hour. We'll throw that on, and then I'll rest for 2 hours to try and get our condition back up and keep our fatigue down, because obviously this is all very, very, well, this is heavily weighed in the direction of exertion, so there it is. You can prepare reishi mushrooms. Sure, cook a reishi mushroom. I'd like to see. I'd like to find out. It's a new item that I've never seen before, and so obviously every time I find new stuff in this game, I get kind of excited about it. Oh, you make reishi tea. Does that give you a resistance versus, is it like pine tea essentially? Does that give you a resistance versus, where is that at? It looks like it takes 3 of them to make 1 tea. It boosts your immune system and demonstrates antibiotic-like behavior. Oh, that's cool. Okay, and these are things that I never knew about in the game. So we'll go ahead and drink. I'm going to eat a little bit of food, and then we're going to rest for a couple hours until hopefully this infernal wind goes away. I wouldn't even call it infernal, though, because if it was like an infernal wind, I would expect it to be hot. It's not. This is... Let's go for a 3-hour nap right now. And we'll see what happens with our condition. See if it goes up slightly. I'd like to get our condition up above 50 just in case things go wrong. Gives us a little bit of time to play with. There we go. So now how's the weather looking? Let's go out the back end of the tunnel and we'll see. We'll find out here. It's minus 5. That's workable. Okay. Minus 5 is definitely survivable and workable. So... sorry, it's time for me to go, fire. I'll see y'all later. We don't have any extra wood with us right now, though, so it might be a good idea to hang out next to the fire for a minute and harvest out the wood that we need for our next campsite. So there's the harvesting of the cedar wood. That's simply, I use that as kindling. I don't even use that as anything else. Essentially, that's just to get the fire going. And then with the hardwood, we'll forage out 1 of those right now, and that should give us 2.5, 3 hours, during which we can harvest up more wood if we need to, so... there we go. It's just a little something to carry along with us, just a fire starter kit, essentially. Something to get us going, like we Kickstarter-backed fire. And they were like, well, here's the fire starter kit so that when fire comes out and it's finally released in its, you know, beta form, you can get started a little bit ahead of the people that buy it off of Steam. And I'm like, cool, yay for fire. -2 right now. We're looking good on hunger and thirst. Let's get to hoofing it. I don't think we hit this entire zone, but this is all new and unfound for me, so... Ooh, we got like some kind of wooden train track roller coaster thing going on over here. I hope it doesn't do the creaky sway thing that it does when you're on the roller coaster. That shit's whack. Oh, please don't break. I know you're meant to hold trains, so I don't think you will. But still, it's kind of terrifying, and for a second... I'm entertaining the thought that you might, if not entertaining, I'm at least having it over for dinner or brunch or something. Still, can you even get down there? I don't think that you can. Weird. Alright, well I don't know if the tea gives us the heat buff that we wanted, but some of the teas in the game will give you... Oh. The bridge is out. So do I walk along this right here? I think I do. Oh, that's horrifying. I don't like that at all. Nope. Yeah, that's super sketchy. And really, there's no other option either. Oh my god, I almost looked at the wrong tie. There we go. Okay, we're the hell out of here. God, they gotta stop throwing me curveballs like that. I thought that I was just gonna get to meander across and nothing would go wrong there, but seriously, something went wrong. Something went very, very wrong. I don't like heights. It's not that I'm afraid of heights, I just don't like them. I prefer to be far, far away from them, I guess. Is this tunnel going to lead to the next zone? How are we doing on temperature right now? We're doing fantastically on temperature. So if we can make it to the next zone over Coastal Highway. Okay, well, at least we found a highway, so that's a plus. You want to be careful about, so there are certain landmarks that people tend to follow when they're lost in the wilderness. And so when you get lost in the wilderness, first and foremost, the #1 rule is never, ever panic. Like, just don't panic. You need to stay in your right mind so that you can properly navigate and make sure that things don't go poorly. Oh, we're actually out of food right now. Okay. I think I picked up a candy bar like a little bit earlier, but I don't think that's going to help much. We'll probably want to start scrounging around for anything else we can find then. Maybe. I'm actually really, really impressed we went through that much material. Like, I ate all that wolf meat? Oh my god. Wow, we went through a bunch of that stuff. Well, hopefully with the Coastal Highway, we'll find something that's going to be conducive to our survival. I don't know if we will or won't, but here's hoping. Oh, the clouds move. Interesting. I never noticed that. It sounds like there's a storm coming in. Like, either that or it's the sound of running water. Okay, so it's running water. Beautiful sapphire water. I really like the color of the water in this game. It's pretty. It makes me happy. I like looking at pretty things. Like, for example, I love the NyQuil gel tabs. I just think they're pretty. The day ones too, the Dayquil I guess would be the alternative instead of NyQuil. I like the way that they look when you run light through them and stuff. I don't know, it's weird. It's a fetish that I have. I don't know if it counts as a fetish actually, but it's an odd thing that I obsess about. Like I like holding a lot of like the gel tabs in my hand and just like looking at them and they're like, ooh, shiny. I don't know, I'm a simpleton. I don't know exactly how this goes. I don't know how it works or why it works like that, but you know what? Damn it, I'm gonna stare at him because it makes me happy. Dead guy, how's it going? He's like, oh, you know. Sorta. Oh, I got an axe over here. I hope, actually, normally when I hear a wolf, it upsets me, but you know what? I don't care that much right now. I would love to find a wolf and shoot it in its dome so that we can take its meat and its brains and its eyeballs and we can eat them and fry them over a fire and be like, nom, 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 nom. Is there anything up inside of here? No. Well, it was worth checking, I guess. I mean, it's better to know than not know. Information is power and all that. At least that's what G.I. Joe tried so hard to tell me in the 80s. Let's run inside and see what we can accomplish here. I've been growing a beard lately, and oh my god, this shit is so itchy. How do you guys with beards deal with this? Like, how is that? We have herbal tea over here. Okay. Newsprint. We got a drawer. I hope we find food. Because if there's no food in here, we're going to have a hard day. We got some cotton socks. The fabric of death. That doesn't really do us much good now, does it? We do have a stop-off, though, that we can stay inside of Summit Soda. Is that an MRE? Oh, shit, yes, we got an MRE. Oh, my God, that'll help out. Okay, so good deal, good deal. We're actually pretty much solidified for the next day or so. And beef jerky, even better. And a can opener in case you need those sorts of things. I don't, but I'll take it so that we can scrap it, I guess. This will be our stop-off point, I think. If we have to rest or hang out here, I think this is where I'm going to go, because it looks like we can actually get the... Well, the temperature, it looks like the trailer's not that well insulated. There's nowhere to start a fire, but laying in bed with all of our clothing on, we should be alright. Cotton's called the fabric of death because it gets wet really easy, and it takes forever. It's thin, it gets wet really easy. A lot of people prefer, like, wool. I don't know. Wool comes with its own challenges. It always shrinks whenever you wash it. I had some wool pants that I loved when I was in high school. Like, they were some super awesome wool pants that were green, and they were dope. I've never seen another pair of pants in that color, and I was stoked about them. Unfortunately, I washed them and they got too small, and so then I guess I was kind of like one of the front runners of them skinny jeans, at least back in the, you know, late 90s, but nonetheless, people back in the 70s and 60s and stuff were rocking them tight jeans too, so I don't know. Let's walk on down the trail right now. I'm going to try and stay oriented. The ravine was easy enough because it's essentially like walking a big line. I've heard there's bears in some of these areas out here, which is worrying. I hope that our rifle is... It looks like it's bolt action, so that might be troublesome. I was going to say, if there's a bear, I'm just going to plug him like 8 times in the face, and we're just going to hope that he falls over and dies. Still, what's down here? Anything? It's just like the underbridge right here, the undertum of the bridge. That's what I call the area on my cat that you scruffle real fast to make him angry. It's called the undertum, down in their little gut. Now, my cat is a little bit different in that... Ooh. My cat loves tummy rubs. However... That works out fantastically. I don't know how I never noticed that this was a bolt-action rifle. It's weird that I never noticed that, frankly. Like, I feel like I probably should have beat it in on that a lot sooner than I did. We'll harvest up some meat. We're going to eat... Yeah, I'll eat the meat first, and we'll save the MREs and stuff for other times. Got some reishi mushrooms over here. I will take those because I think they're worth 100 calories apiece. It says put back. Like you just shove it back onto the tree like when a little kid breaks something. They're just like, yeah, and they try and push it back to where it goes. Oh my god. I love the fact that my friends have kids, but I don't have kids. So I get to hear their stories and just be like, your kid broke your stuff, and that's kind of humorous. You gotta have like a man cave that's just like off limits. I think that's really, or a woman cave, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. Either way, though, a man or woman cave, whichever you would prefer, where it's just like off limits. Like at my house, you weren't allowed in the den. You got caught up in the den, your ass was done like dinner, and so you just stayed the hell out of the den. And that was like the place where my dad hoarded like all of his stuff that he didn't want to get broken. And so see, he had like a real action plan right there. To be fair, I broke a lot of stuff before he had a den, but you know, I'm pretty sure that I was the major consideration in getting a den, like a house with a den, because and it seems like all of his friends did the same thing. They're just like, oh yeah, the office is off limits to kids. Kids don't go in the office. We're thirsty right now. Okay. My dad did run a business, though, so obviously it was a functional office, but I do notice that there was like a real concentration of breakable stuff in his office that really had no purpose being... Oh, my toque is about to break. Fool of a toque, how dare you? I'm going to repair you right... I don't have a repair kit with me. Well, then I am going to take you off because you're not even helping that much with my heat retention. So there. I could rip up some socks, but that still doesn't supply us with a needle and thread. I mean, we have a needle and thread right here, but the game doesn't see it that way. That's bad. That's really bad. I didn't think about that avenue. Our clothes might rot off of us before we get back to base. It's weird that they fall apart so quickly. I'll add that right now. Sounds like it's cold outside. Sounds like it's real cold. So the question becomes, what do we want to do with this situation? Our clothing is breaking, and I didn't bring a sewing kit because I'm an idiot and I wanted to save 0.1 kilograms of weight rather than bringing it along. We can sort of just like hope and pray that we find one out here, but yeah, it's minus 18. We're going to have to hang out over here for a little while. We're encumbered and it's cold. That's unfortunate. Can I start a fire inside? Cannot start a campfire indoors. Well, it was worth a shot. I think we can all agree that it was kind of worth it. I mean, you got to give it a go at the bare minimum. Greenlight it for just a second and see what happens. My god, the frame rate in this game. So the wind appears to be coming from that direction. So let's make a fire next to the propane tank because obviously that's always the smartest idea. And then while we're down here, we'll start a fire. Let's use the fire striker. That'll give us a 99% chance of getting this thing done, and we can't risk it not getting done because I got to make the food for tomorrow and for today so that we can continue our adventures out here in the highway. If things start to get really, really rotten, what I'll try and do is I'll go back and I'll take off my clothing and we'll try and go back and repair it all because we do have the supplies back at our base camp. It's unfortunate, and I don't really relish the thought of having to run all the way back there, but you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. I don't think I need that much more fuel. All I really want to do is cook some that's it. All I want to do is cook some wolves. I've got a feeling I'm not the only one. God, 90s music. 90s music was just... Maybe it's just because that was the decade that I remember music in, but 90s music just did not do it for me. Did not do it for me. Then again, it was part of the problem is that my mom had like this radio at our house that she just left on all day, every day, just so there would be noise in the house. And so it played on this contemporary, it was like an adult, it wasn't even like an adult contemporary. Oh, our condition is deteriorating. Hooray, it's too cold for fire. That's good. Well, we don't much have a choice. I would rather have the food for later than actually worry about 8 or 9% condition right now, because we should get that back overnight. I would also recommend, I don't want to make any more reishi tea. Herbal tea might be worth the effort. Maybe. Let's just get out of the weather. We're freezing to death right now. We got the mission done, and I don't want to add any secondary objectives to this endeavor here. So now that we got that all done, we can take a look at this. Let's go ahead and eat that to get our calories back up and running. And I figure there's 1 hour of daylight left, so that explains a lot of it too. Our temperature should go down right now, and we should be alright. It's unfortunate that our toque is so busted up. Hopefully it'll help out a little bit, but I don't think that it will. Let's get going with a little bit of the resticles right now, I suppose. We'll grab that right there. Okay, I probably could have drank that, and that would have worked out fine. We also have, it says it's edible, but unfortunately we can't really do much with it. I wish that we could eat it, but I guess not. We got a warmth bonus right there. Let's go all in. How do you burn 1,500 calories while you're sleeping? That seems like a really, really, like, high mark calorie burnage. Like, because your body goes into hibernation mode once you start sleeping. It goes into basically conservation mode. Even if you're out in the cold, I don't see you actually using that many calories while you're down and out, but could be wrong, I guess. Let's eat the remainder of our canine friend here. It doesn't look like it actually did that much, though, by the count. I don't know. I was trying to line the bed back up right there. If you're wondering what I was doing, I was trying to line it up so that when I come out of this menu, I can just jump back into bed. We'll sleep for another 4 hours. So yeah, it might be due to the fact that there was a temperature or something, because we didn't lose that many calories. So maybe it's the adjustments in temperature that make that happen. I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. That's kind of a weird mechanic that I'm not familiar with. Never take your car to a weird mechanic that you're not familiar with, by the way. That's a bad plan. That's a good way to get your catalytic converter cut out. Never see that car again. It's 3 degrees right now out here? That seems really, really unlikely. Forgive my skepticism, but I just don't see that being the case. Let's rest it off for a couple more hours until we have daylight. And once we've got the sun adding its happy little rays to our adventures. Now it sounds like wind might have come back. Exactly. It might have been a better chance for us to run around. It's too dark, though. I couldn't see. We do have a lantern over here, but I'm not going to carry it around with me. What's my weight looking like, actually? Yeah, I'll take the lantern. Why not? A little bit of kerosene, a little bit of illumination will probably save us if we end up getting ourselves into trouble. You never know when you're going to go into a dark zone, is my point. It's minus 12 right now. It's too cold. Way too cold. Back inside we go. Give it another couple hours and just, like, hope that the storm goes away. I think there's too many storms in this game. In wintry areas, does it storm this much? I mean, because when it's like winter here, it pours rain nonstop for like a month, but there's not like a lot of wind or anything like that. It's just kind of like this nonstop deluge o' doom. Oh my god, it got worse. We are really, really wasting our time right now. Let's just get out here. We'll see what we can accomplish before our temperature falls off, I guess. I'm going to take the high road right now because obviously I heard a song once where it said that I get to Scotland that way. And so there it is. Never got to visit Scotland, but I'd like to. It'd be pretty cool. My sister got to do a UK tour, which was pretty awesome. She had like she had like a 4.6 in high school. And so she got to do like the student ambassador thing where you got to go to like England, Ireland, Wales, and Scotland for like a month and a half, 2 months. And you just like hung out there with other people that got really good grades in those countries and like discussed things. So you had to do like academic stuff, But there was a lot of like tourism and things like that too. It seemed like a really fun time. Had a lot of cool pictures, a lot of cool memories. I was too busy getting kicked out of high school to do things like that. I got in trouble a lot. So I was a troublemaker. I was my parents' I was the child that gave my parents their special brand of ulcer. I was too busy engaging in bad behaviors all day, every day, I guess. In retrospect, you can see these things, but at the time, I was just having a lot of fun. To be fair, I don't think I would trade it. I think I would much rather have gotten in a lot of trouble and done a lot of bad stuff and had a good time and made a lot of memories than just to stick to the rules the entire time. But your mileage may vary. Don't take my word for it. This is a really big zone. I think I see off in the distance over that direction. I thought I saw a lodge or something. I would need a better vantage point to verify it, but I thought I saw it. And if we could lock that in, we could set that as our next destination. Don't fall off any cliffs or anything while you're running backwards, by the way. It might also be a ruse, though, trying to get you to get off the beaten trail and, die of the cold. So, there's also that. It might just be a set piece or something. I swear that I saw a lodge when I came around. Well, isn't that odd? I thought I saw it. Unfortunately, I don't see it now. I don't know if maybe it's kind of like a pop-in thing? Weird. Well, we got power lines, and so as I was talking about in the previous episode, I said for a lot of people what will happen is when they get lost, maybe it wasn't the previous episode, people get lost in the wilderness, they tend to panic and freak out. It's mistake number one, although, honestly, it is a realistic, you're like, I'm gonna die, and then everything just kind of gets rowdy from there. However, don't panic, that's the first part. B, power lines generally not a good idea to follow those unless there's a road or something nearby. Train tracks, also not a good idea. Because what most people don't realize is here in the United States, power lines and railroad tracks, I can say words right now. I will enunciate them with all of my power, my force and verve. Anyways, train tracks and power lines run all through the wilderness here in the United States for hundreds and hundreds of miles without ever hitting any location that's of any value. And so just following those might not be a good idea. A fleece sweater. Oh, that's in pretty good shape. Okay. Got a jerry can over here. There was one in the other place too. I don't know if I picked it up. Did I? Yeah, there was one in the other cabin, but I didn't bring it because I was worried about the weight. Still, we could use this right now on the lantern. Where's my lantern at? And then we could refuel it, because I don't think it's full up right now. And how much kerosene do I have in this can right now? Kerosene can? There it is. Okay, so I've got 1.15 liters. So I basically got one more refill. I'll drop it so I don't have to carry it around. So if I wear that, how does that help me versus this guy right here? The fleece sweater is worse than the heavy wool, huh? I'm not going to question it too much. I'll take it, just in case, because obviously we found ourselves in a situation here where our clothing is breaking down pretty rapidly. Nothing else. Let me get low and see if maybe there's anything under the beds. Not a big haul from this place. I don't want to carry around a bunch of jackets or anything either. Our premium winter coat is looking a little bit sketchy, though. Down ski jacket might be a good thing to use for right now. It's going to give us -5. Oh, wow, the premium winter coat is just so much better. A sewing kit is what we need right now. If we can't find a sewing kit, it's going to be nasty. It's going to be very, very nasty. Well, we'll continue. I mean, it's rare that I go a long time without finding one. Typically, you find them in med kits for sutures and things like that, so we might get lucky here. It's -6 out, huh? You don't know what those are right there. Typically, those are used to measure depth, so that you can know whether or not the river is deep enough for you to be out on it right now. We got a pry bar back here. Okay. The hell was that? Oh, he's right there. Got him. You are not welcome here, sir. You are not welcome. Or madam. I don't know. You got to check the oil on this one. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell. We got 4 kilograms of meat over here. That should help us get by and keep us from using our MREs or anything. I am glad that the hunting is good in this location, because were it not, we might have to make some troubling decisions. However, seems to be going okay. No, I don't want to open a can. I wanted to click on this. Sometimes my clicker stops working in this game. I don't know if that's a normal thing for everybody, but every now and again my mouse stops working. And it's not like a battery-powered one. It actually functions by nature of being plugged in through a USB, so... I don't know. It might just be like a me thing. I don't know, problem in between share and screen, I guess. Let's go ahead and we need to boil water tonight. How many hours of daylight do we have left? We can't tell because of the fog. Okay, so because of the fog, looks like they were floating logs downriver, so this looks to be some kind of lumberjacking area. Without knowing how many hours of daylight I have left, what's my firewood situation looking like? We've got cedar, and we've got very little else. So my recommendation right now would be to grab some hardwood, because we're going to have to make a fire, I think, before the end of the day so that we can get some water boiled. And then the B part of that would be, yeah, there's an extra part to that. The extra part would be that we need to cook up the remainder of this meat so that we don't starve to death before we leave this place. But anyways, my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerd Castle. I'm going to tool around a little bit and just kind of like see what's in the area. I'll see y'all later. How do, everybody? This is The Long Dark. Check it out down below if you wanted to purchase it.